Alright, chat. They nerfed and unbanned A-Winota in Historic. She now only gets a single trigger when you attack with any number of non-human creatures, but a single trigger was still pretty good last time we played her. So A-Winota in this deck is fishing up Huntmasters and Blade Historians and Kenriths and Pyromancers. And both Pyromancer and Huntmaster are cards that generate non-human attackers to continue enabling A-Winota. In addition to Seasoned Pyromancer, we also have Fable of the Mirrorbreaker as a way to have some card selection. And then we've got 10 different ways here to play out on 2 that allow us to accelerate into A-Winota on turn 3, but also attack and get a trigger with her on that 3rd turn. So this was very reasonable last time we tried it in Historic. Let's pop on in to some games with it again here and see how it goes. Merfolk's a good note. I don't know that I feel like building Merfolk today, but we can probably try that later this week. Where's Miguel at? Really wish I had a search option. I'm sure I just scrolled past it. The fact that it shows me deck lists that aren't tagged as Historic in my deck editor and also doesn't offer search features is so obnoxious. So even without a A-Winota draw here, we get to go Innkeeper into turn 4 Huntmaster, which is pretty good. This is like gain 6. Well, shoot. I meant to cast Kenrith there, but misclicked. Untap any land. Any land. So if I Blade Historian, they go block, 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 and then they take 8, 12, enough. If I Kenrith, They go block, block. They're at 17 total. I'm dealing 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 16, 21. So either is lethal. And Kenrith has more utility. Okay, so believe it or not, my sideboard doesn't really have anti-Brash Taunter cards in it. So I think we're just clicking submit. Alright, this is a turn 3 trigger A-Winota. Castles are untapped off of Jetmir's Garden. Thanks, Spaceman Martian. Brash Taunter is a 5. Skyclave Apparition does not interact with it. Could have been better, but also could have been worse. My body is ready to be blasphemous acted. Oh, this is no longer a human on the backside. That's really good for us. Blade Historian's lethal, right? The classic Anger of the Gods Mana Dork deck. Although I guess their Mana Dorks are just trying to ramp them into Taunter, so maybe it's fine. My thoughts on Tyranitar after playing him yesterday. Probably not good enough to be in the central area. We're going to try him in the top path today with a stacking item, but the character feels very Garchomp-esque in ways that aren't great. Feels like people that don't want... Like, he gets kited really easily. People just, like, walk away from you. It's a turn 3 A-Winota trigger again. Which is kind of exactly what we're going for. Goblin combo. I mean, for what it's worth, I think Garchomp is playable, and Tyranitar is probably playable too. I've just heard people calling it, like, busted and needing to be nerfed, and I don't think either of those statements are accurate after playing it. You can generate some pretty big swings in the late game fights. Hit me. Hit me. Anybody have a deck list for this archetype, by the way? I feel like it's one that I wanna poke at some point. I don't think that's true, Lacarp. There's been plenty of examples of characters that on release day were just like fine or even bad power level. Going on, No Spoon. Thanks for the 19 months. Welcome back. I assume our brick on the turn 3 A-Winota trigger probably means we're a little bit too far gone. So, outside of having our ideal 2-3, our hand has not been particularly helpful. Gurmgully is lethal, for those that aren't familiar. Future Goblin plus Gurmgully means the Goblin gets to come back into play an unlimited number of times. I think Bonecrusher is not great here, and we'll bring in Skyclave Apparition. Seems like a pretty nice, clean swap out. I mean, even Glaceon and Delphox just like fine power level releases. I'd say it obviously needs a little bit of help, but Innkeeper into Fable lets us smooth our hand a little bit, so I think it's keepable. With Skyclave as a touch of interaction here. I think we're ditching Blade Historian, obviously, with the Castle Garenbrig in play, and then probably Kenrith here. Lotus Cobra doesn't seem that great either. Let's touch these. See where we end up at. Grab my treasure token. Warren and Huckbear. I'm gonna go ahead and just exile Snoop here, I think. Anyway, sacrificing it there. This is kind of sick. Kenrith, give Reflection Trample, or Haste. And then I get to go like this, make a treasure token. And then I can Reflection, copy Skyclave, exile the Revels. So I'm doing this during my end step because the reflection of the Kiki Jiki token dies at end of turn. So if I make the token during my end step, it lives through my opponent's entire next turn until their end step, and that way they don't get the 3/3 right away. Felt pretty clean. I guess Fateful Absence. I wonder if I want more interaction on the draw. Is that possible? Do I want, like, Absence and or Bonecrusher while we're on the draw? Crusher kills Slinging. Fateful Absence deals with the 3/3. Hey, thanks to Guardian. Good to be back. Not sure I'm one of each of these. I think Fable the Mirror Breaker is better than Seasoned Pyromancer, but Seasoned Pyromancer being findable with A-Winota is nice upside. It's an excellent hand. It's got the 2 into the 3, but then it also has a Skyclave for a Scotia interaction. Two Revels is pretty good. Alright, I think we just get rid of their thing. Opponent agrees that getting rid of their thing is the line. I'm honestly kind of surprised we don't see anybody else playing A-Winota when we play Historic. This archetype still feels super reasonable and consistent and powerful. Obviously, like, slightly less explosive than it was before they changed her, but... Have we seen any untapped land up by 3? Got 2 draws at it. 42% to draw land at the moment. My A-Winota. Do 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 do. Be do 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 do. Be do 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 do. We could step on the Smith, but I can also just get a A-Winota trigger here, so let's go. Something, something, turn 3, unassailable board state, something, something. Alright, this is definitely a Skyclave Apparition matchup. I think it's a Fable out matchup. A-Winota seems bad. You know, I think that's the swap. Okay, I think without A-Winota already lined up, I think I just take the opportunity to step on the Smith here before I can grow out of stomp range. I saw A-Winota and assumed we were playing Explorer, and then I remembered we were in the darkest timeline. LOL. I'm not in a rush to Skyclave the Ingenious Smith because Skyclave can grab that regardless of how large it is. Let's just go ahead and play to the board, get some acceleration going. Hey, Fire and Fury, thanks for hanging out for 3 years. Folks like you make my job possible, so thanks for keeping me around. A-Winota? Feeling pretty dead here. Huntmaster resolves next turn. Maybe we have a shot, but even then, I'm pretty far behind. Yeah, I'm happy with how we boarded. Let's run it back on the plate. This hand doesn't have a fast A-Winota, and it doesn't have interactive bits. I think we mulligan. This hand has both a fast A-Winota and interactive bits. It's exactly what we want. Hey, what's going on, Steve? Just get our non-human into play, so if they tap out for something, we can attack and get our trigger. It's close. It might be right to play A-Winota here while they're tapped out. And a mana leak is just so good. I jammed A-Winota in there because we drew the Huntmaster, so if I draw land number 6 next turn, I want to be able to cast this, and hopefully they don't have a second counter spell. Like, our deck doesn't have discard or counters of our own, so the only way we get through the rebukes is by running into them. It's so trivially easy for them to hold rebuke up. I'd be a little greedy and cycle this. There's just so much mana in our deck. That resolved very quickly. Hopefully that means Huntmaster's gonna slam down. They could have something like a Disdainful Stroke here, I suppose. Alright. It's good beats, good beats. I also agree that OG A-Winota is probably fine in Historic, but at the same time, I don't think this deck is bad, so it's mostly whatever. This is our second time playing this deck since they nerfed it on Banter, and I've actually played against opposing A-Winotas in Historic 0 times since they've unbanned her. That is wild to me, based on how reasonable this shell has felt. We'll lead on the castle here because it's not untapped on 2. I mean, Avocado, for those that aren't familiar, the optimal A-Winota decks in Explorers specifically before they banned her were the Huntmaster builds. No one was really playing Angrest Marauders, Rage and Treachery anymore. I think this might be an attack for 2 play Bonecrusher angle. I kind of want to wait till A-Winota until they're not holding up a 2 mana removal spell. Rewarded. Chandra me, daddy. I also accept Kalitos. Oh, of course not Rotten Agenda. I mean, we've talked about it at length a number of times on stream, but just like, the one thing Wizards consistently fails to do across basically every one of their formats is reassess their ban lists as their formats evolve and change. It's basically every ban list in Magic the Gathering has multiple cards on it that could be unbanned safely in their formats at this point. Fortunate we full break there. Still in a good spot. Yep. Okay, so obviously we want Elspeth Resplendent here in the grindy matchup. I think we want Skyclave Apparition because taking Kalitas off the table is important. Of course you can, Robbie. We aim to please. Is it crazy to cut Bonecrusher Giant? Would I rather have Bonecrusher or Lotus Cobra here? Actually, honestly, in terms of accelerating, Briefcase is probably better. Maybe we just do this, huh? Become just pretty interactive. I think I'd rather have Bonecrusher than Fateful Absence, but it's kind of close. Let's try this. See how it feels. I assume this gets stepped on, but also it's just like, whatever. That getting Fatal Push seems like a big win for us. I kind of want a Seasoned Pyromancer, because that gives us the best chance to A-Winota next turn as a trigger. I think we ditch second season plus Bonecrusher. It fuels their graveyard Trespasser, but it gives us a chance at untapped land. I guess I have this already, but it gives me 2 non-humans to attack with. Get you later, ML. Okay, and with the Dewstone Cold Nothing this turn, again, we just don't play A-Winota out into the likely removal spell. So we'll crack them for 4, and then we'll go tapped land into Fable. Shame we don't have the untapped land to jam Elspeth this turn, but... Shit again for our patience. Red-black getting Dreadbore is gonna be gross. I don't know. Red-black getting Dreadbore is like makes decks like A-Winota and stuff better if they're playing that over instant speed removal in a lot of spots, right? This is a Submit Zero Angle chat.
If a fight's coming, I'll be on the front.
Skyclave?
May your peace last.
Oh, am I dead to... I'm dead to an untapped land, right? Because, Buggy Bear? Not dead yet.
Once I've rested, I'll be back.
Soon there is a Grasp or Heartless Act here in our future. But we're just kind of back against the wall. Alrighty then. That just happened. They were bluffing, and we ended up in a spot where we were forced to call, and everything worked out. Yeah, the fact that they just didn't have removal and they left A-Winota in our hand is a strange decision on their part. I just assumed they had us covered because they left it there, but... You can only bluff in a spot like that if your opponent isn't in a spot where they're forced to call it. We were definitely like back against the wall, gotta jam. Hey, Saibe, thanks for the brand new Prime. There's a ton of great people. You can ship those Bezo bucks to every month here on Twitch. Thanks for sending them this way this month and keeping me around. Appreciate it. Happy Tuesday. All right, looking for an untapped land on 3. This matchup has got to be bad, right? We'll find out. Losing the die roll is certainly not good. I really wish Magic would try and experiment with things to mitigate play draw variance. It's just so bad compared to a lot of other modern card games that exist. Just feels so rancid. I'm just dead, right? I don't have any hits that save me here. Fredwick, thanks for hanging out for almost 5 years. Welcome back. They did once, not in the however many decades I've been playing, have they ever tried to change it. They've adjusted how mulligans work a couple of times. But never something to try to... Oh, the midweek magic did a thing. Sure, that doesn't really count. And all the Doomblades and the Shifting Ceratopses. I trim around the edges for the last couple. And this is a 1-for-1, unfortunately, but I want to just, like, stomp all the stomping is good. Because they sack it in response, and then, obviously, our Bonecrusher Giant can't go on an adventure. Just gonna continue killing all of their stuff here. Mr. Mancer here. Could be right to hold this till after we empty our hand too. Definitely a spot where Fable, it's possible that I'm supposed to cut these instead of Fable. Just like doesn't do anything. Part of the problem with something like Forsaken Crossroads Rotten Agenda is that I'm just gonna go ahead and concede here because our opponent's taking too long to play. We're like 0% to win from this spot, and they're just like gonna take infinite amount of our time. Part of the problem with cards like Forsaken Crossroads and Paper is that tracking what effect that card has in long games tends to be messy. Something that's very easy to forget. Yeah, we've played Mono Blue on stream before, Archangel, if you check the YouTube channel. It's a playable archetype in both Explorer and Historic if you could dodge the Supreme Verdict decks, but you're like pretty close to 0% in the Supreme Verdict matchups. A rat deck. So a Parahelion in our future. Animator. Are we dead yet? I think we're dead. So, Soul Guide Lantern for sure. Fateful Absence seems okay. Think I want Skyclave Apparition. It tags Priest, but not their things once they're already in play. And I already have 4 Bonecrushers to tag specifically Priest. What's going on, Phenom? Thanks for the 16 months. Appreciate that. Welcome back. This is a keep. We spike a Greenland, it's like really good. Oh, and they're a Thoughtseize deck anyway. It definitely makes this a keep. Alright, they know this is here, right? Discarding a creature you want to reanimate and then getting to search up a reanimate target's gonna guess. A reanimate spell with this. Or A-Winota or a bomb at this point. Huntmaster, Kenrith, etc. Pyromancer's not terrible. It's 2 redraws. We'll shock this in, so that way, if we hit Winota, we can cast her. Right, they could floop a fatty into play this turn. Rafine lets them connive something into the bin, and then the priest can unearth for 5. Alright, looks like no reanimation this turn at least. That's nice. Kiki was summoning sick there, Seth. I think I need Graveyard Hate or A-Winota at this point. Actually, I'm gonna play the castle out first, and then we'll cast her. So that way, if we roll into a Seasoned Pyromancer, we don't discard the castle. Bum 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 ba da da dum. Doomblade here, I assume. We are digging for a fatty to bring back. If they find a fatty, we've got a few draws at a way to take it off the board. They also need, like, specifically Angel for Procreation's point, right? I guess we could see, like, Wratha got out of them here, too. Sweepers, if we feel like in the range what they could be playing. Swing and miss. Elish Norn would be bad. Yeah, Elish would get us. Yoke. Hello, darkness, my old friend. My opponent led with Thoughtseize again. They took away my best spell. Do 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 do. There's really no sub for magic in any snap deck, is there? I mean, not comparably, no. Ewok! You should check out the couple of Agatha decks I posted on the Snap Highlights channel. There's 2 different builds up there, if I recall. They kind of showcase different ways to approach what she's doing. Magic desperately needs to be nerfed in Snap. She basically just makes every deck better. It's not a great design currently. Does a Blade Historian smack them plan or a Fable of the Mirrorbreaker? I think it's a Fable of the Mirrorbreaker angle. Because I really want to shift through some cards here to try and find a A-Winota or a piece of graveyard hate. Alright, so I think the play here is Historian Pass, and then we end step Faithful Absence to Elishnorn, and then we can untap and potentially kill them. If these 3 cards are blanks, they're dead. I guess the top card of their deck has to be a blank too. This is our sequence to win though. Yeah, they drew an interactive spell. I played to my outs. I think we're dead though. Unfortunately, did not draw a Soul Guide Lantern. I guess if we draw a A-Winota or another Blade Historian, we can kill them next turn. Off. Close game. Really close, honestly, considering we just, like, didn't draw any of our sideboard cards. We boarded in 3 lanterns and saw, like, a bunch of cards out of our deck. I just couldn't find them. Keeper died this turn, each opponent loses life, draws cards. So they're holding up a removal spell then? didn't level this. Fatal push or something? Maybe they thought level up was instant speed. We're about to get Gary'd, chat? Gary! Well, those are certainly cards in our deck that we can draw. Hey, what's going on, Apollo? Thanks for the 25. I think I want to play Huntmaster to start. That's close. Could have been right to just Kenrith this turn. Hey, Kenobi. Thanks for hanging out for 3 years. Welcome back. Good morning, good morning. All right, well, the Grass Spear is actually kind of good for us. It would imply they're not going to sweep the board next turn. That was a Grey Merchant. The Rhino deck was very bad. It got stuffed by aggressive decks, and it got stuffed by control decks going over the top of it. That'll do, pig. That'll do. What's going on, Ewok? Thanks for the 38 months. Glad you're having fun with Agatha. Get one Skyclave. Trim Bonecrusher. Click submit. Click submit. All right. Pyromancing. I hit land drops here. Maybe I'm just supposed to Innkeeper. We're so bad at drawing lands, chat. Good God. I assume they have a second Grey Merchant. We're dead. Great. Sometimes lucky. Compensation for the lack of A-Winota hits, something like that. Oh, did they have a creature land? That might be right. Wow, are they about to brick the land here too with 3 extra looks? That's a pretty good beat for us. Yes, Agatha taking all the boosters is definitely a flavor win. Well, so Fable and Liliana the Veil are just kind of different, right? I think the answer is Jund and Red Black likely play both of them. But like Liliana's a card that impacts the board is the big deal about her. This might be getting cycled. I think I want to keep the treasure token available for later. They have a way to kill one of my Skyclaves. They get to block and kill the other, so I think I'm actually just pumping the brakes and passing here. Yeah, I think in a vacuum, Fable is definitely the better card. Pyromancer is definitely one of the better draws in our deck here. Would love to turn it into a A-Winota. My A-Winota. Great, hit me, dealer. That'll do, pig. To gain 6 here. They gain 2 from blocking my Innkeeper, but then Huntmaster's still here, cracking down. I'm gonna offer letting them eat the 2-2 with the 2-3 because if they want to do that, then my Huntmaster gets to live, which is obviously great for us. It's a good thing we brought our backup Huntmaster. And this chat, this might be the copium talking, so, you know, take what I'm about to say with a grain of salt. But if you've never stuck a turn 1 or 2 Liliana of the Veil against blue-white control, and then used her Unite move on turn 5 or 6, it's pretty good. So, maybe, just maybe, Liliana of the Veil is coming to deliver us from the blue-white hellscape that modern Magic design has turned into. Just maybe. It is. It's a special type of, yep, this is a thing that's going on here. Let's do it. Whoa! The follow followed by the immediate tier 1 sub. Crash and Bond, thanks for the support. Welcome to the live segment of Hoaglandia. Hope your Tuesday's going well, and thanks for keeping me employed. I think it's more consistent matchups of Historic, Blue-White, or Esper. I have to imagine it's Blue-White. Adding a color to your mana base comes at a real cost. And I think the other part is, like, Blue-White has such flexible answers with the addition of March now. I'm not really sure you gain a ton of value from adding the Black Splash. White will move to foretell spells. I don't think that's very likely. Yeah, there's no turn 1 delays. Turn 2 though, chat. We've got Elvish Mystic and Land War Elves, and Blooming Marsh is legal. I feel like you can't compete against Grixis or Mono Black with Blue-White. Well, I don't think either of those decks are really... Maybe if wherever you're at, you're running into those a lot. That's a thing to consider, but, like, I can't tell you the last time I queued into Grixis. I guess we did just play against, like, a weird Mono Black brew, but that's also not something that's particularly popular in my experience in the letter. Yeah, exactly. Bert Norton. You used to have, like, really mediocre spot removal. That's just not the case anymore. A-Winota. Am I enjoying Historic more than Explorer recently? Nope. I think both Historic and Explorer are a ton of fun when you're not queuing into blue-white control. And when you're queuing into blue-white control and either of them, they both kind of suck. There is more good than bad in each, but it's definitely not a great experience. We have a few community members that are active talking about Modern in the subs Discord, but I don't really play non-arena formats anymore personally, so I'm not super familiar with what the Modern landscape looks like. Shit. Being on the play is pretty good. Strong even. Oof. I discarded our spells there because Pyromancer only makes tokens if you discard non-lands. And I need 1/1s here, obviously. Who's got 2 thumbs is ready to die to Embercleave? This guy right here. No, Embercleave. It's like Christmas. Nassif is the king of dirtling in every format that is playable in. Definitely double up the suggestion of checking out whatever he's been playing. Oof. I think we're dead, right? From Briefcase. This is a Skyclave Apparition matchup. Maybe we try a couple of Blade Historians. Let's technically give something a bunch of lifelink. They also had main deck Roiling Vortexes, though. Your favorite fantasy world, Middle-earth, Azeroth, Dominaria, or the one where Twitch chat consistently follows the rules for card replacement suggestions? Thanks for the over 2 years, the Quippy resub message, and the absurdly generous tier 3 portal. Good morning to you and yours. I will say it cracks me up to no end that, like, the best deck in Modern right now is literally called Money Pile. It's just so on the nose. For people that aren't familiar, the best deck in Modern right now is called Money Pile because it costs like 2,000 USD to build in paper or something stupid like that. Is 2,000 USD too low? Does anybody know what's the dollar amount on Money Pile these days? I'm sure it's not getting cheaper. It's closer to 3,000 if I recall correctly. Oof. Oof. Modern. Yeah, so not even a format where dual lands are a thing. Oh, we can look on Goldfish. Goldfish says 2,400. Okay, and again, that Goldfish estimation is for the cheapest version of all of these cards. It does not include any bonus cosmetics or anything fancy. People rightfully complain about a lot of things related to the Magic Arena economy, chat. But for those of you that aren't familiar, the $14.62.42 ticket price is the Magic Online price to buy Money Pile, and tickets are 1 USD. So that deck costs approximately $1,500 to buy a digital copy of. So there are, again, endless things we could do to improve the Magic Arena economy in many ways. But at the very least, it's not $1,500 for Money Pile deck. Yeah, the original NFTs, Magic the Gathering Online. Howdy how! Thanks for the over 2.5 years. Welcome back. This attack is Big Cleave Energy Chip. I guess I'd rather block this one because if they have like a lightning strike here, this plus this eats my thing. There's so much hacking and card stealing in Moto 2. Whoa, 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 whoa. Are you trying to tell me an application where I can spend $1,500 on a single deck doesn't have basic consumer protections like two-factor authentication? I mean, of course you are. This is a Wizards of the Coast software product. Running hot, Drunk Owl. Think it's Kenny Boy. Think it's just Kenny Boy here. It's close though. Kenny means that I can put a 1/1 counter on A-Winota, and then she can trade with the Chain Whirler when they equip the sword to it. I just want to buffer my life total as much as possible here, so I'm going to throw the wolf pup away as well. You don't get how Brazen Borrower is a $25 to $20 card in paper, but 37 in Moto tickets. That's because when what's it called happened, when when Magic Arena started happening, there became less people drafting on Magic Online. So all new standard multi-format All-Stars end up being more expensive. This is 9/11, they're dead. Cool. So it's pretty typical that mythics and rares that see widespread play in Modern and Pioneer tend to be very expensive on Moto because there isn't a lot of supply for them. Chase Clark, thank you for the 33 months. Welcome back. I think on the draw, I don't have time to Fable. Let's bring in Fateful Absence, and honestly, just the extra Blade Historians to make my A-Winotas better when they pop, I think. Maybe Lotus Cobra is not supposed to be in my deck. It's pretty bad in the Chain Whirler, especially when we're on the draw. Maybe Elspeth for the lifelink and leave a couple of these in. It's close. This matchup doesn't seem great for us. Draft old sets on Moto. I don't know exactly how the limited economy works there. Being on the draw against Burning Tremissary on 2. A tale as old as time, champ. That was not the A-Winota I wanted for Christmas, Chip. It's not the A-Winota I wanted for Christmas. And if Innkeeper first, ooh, that's a good call. That's a good shout. I would have had to use both my treasure tokens to do that though, right? Which seems not great. If I had to use both my treasure tokens there, I then couldn't cast a A-Winota if I drew it this turn, right? And I think drawing A-Winota and hitting Huntmaster off it is my way to win this game. So it looks like we're dead regardless, but I think I'm happy with my sequence. How much does Den of the Bugbear cost on Moto? Is that card still like $40? At one point, Den of the Bugbear was $40. Holy crap, I was wrong. Den of the Bugbear is currently $30 on Magic Online, and it peaked at $68 on April 8th. Just actual NFT levels insanity. What a steal, chat. It's less than half of its peak. Gotta buy now. Buy, buy, buy. Yeah, we cast some siege rhinos this morning and got rid of that pesky number next to our name. Well, so Magic Online is not an application that's designed to encourage new people to play. That's literally why they made Magic Arena. So Magic Arena was created to have an entry point for new people to get into digital Magic. Magic Online was designed from the ground up to be a paper Magic simulator for people who are already heavily invested in the concept of paper Magic. They might Muxus us next turn, chat. We could lose this. But everybody stay calm. Carry on. Yeah. All right. Good Muxus kills us here. Does that constitute a good Muxus? I'm actually not sure. So they can... Oh my god. They hit Kranko on top of their deck after they searched with Goblin Matron. You gotta be kidding me. Is this a send with all hope to hit Kenrith angle? There's no way we're winning if they untap, right? Yeah, their Kranko versus our nerfed Winota is kind of a travesty. You're not wrong. Yeah, I agree, Christian. I agree that it, like, Goblins is like a pretty interesting deck to maybe figure out how to build, and then Kranko steps in and, like, takes away everything that's potentially interesting. Okay, so who do I fight here? Do we fight Prospector in response, or do I fight War Chief in response? I think we fight War Chief in response, right? They can still go land Muxus kill us here. Everybody clench. I don't know if we're alive or not. We're at 27. Hopefully that's enough. This is 10, 13, 17. I count 21 on board. Are you kidding me? Oh, we knew they had a second one, right? Okay, that'll do it, pig. That'll do. And for what it's worth, chat, it actually didn't matter what we killed there, because if we leave them the War Chief instead of the Prospector, I guess they can't cast the Krinkos from hand? Does it matter? No, because they hit Prospectors off the Muxus, right? And they had the 5th land, so they would have cast this with this reduction, and they had a Prospector on top. Yeah, it actually just didn't matter. None of our choices mattered, and we died. Got it. Good chat. Good chat. Really glad that A-Winota is nerfed and Muxus is still the same. Definitely fair cards and reasonable comparisons. It is true that Muxus is not a removal check gameplay because removal is really bad against Muxus. That's accurate. So it is fundamentally different in that it's not removal check gameplay. What's going on, Zalor? Thanks for the 31 months. Welcome back. Mortal Echoes, thanks for the 54. Alright, chat, I got like one more in me, I think. Well, feeling a little magicked out today. I need to make sure I put at least one good deck in the 2 decks in the morning. Playing back-to-back medium decks is a very draining and sad experience. I agree, Pino. And if we had a green source on 2, it's pretty great. No, Muxus isn't, in paper, Muxus is only legal in, is it even legal in Modern? Anybody know? It's not legal in Pioneer. Remember, Muxus is only on Magic Arena through the cluster that is Jumpstart Historic Horizons. I think it's only Legacy legal. Is that accurate? Feels bad to kill their thing and give them 2 cards, but just don't have any mana. I'm gonna start Marvel Snap early, chat. Haven't been having fun playing Magic these last few matches, and rather than sit here and be miserable, I'm gonna go play a game that I'm gonna enjoy. We'll try again tomorrow, but I don't really feel like queuing up a 3rd Magic deck today, and it's been kind of just a crapshoot session overall, both from our decks not being good and just like bad variants.